going to discuss one of the very useful concepts of mathematics is volume, right? Volume of rectangular prism. You have learned about rectangular prisms in our last assignment and in our last videos as well, but you worked on surface area of them. But in this video and in this assignment you are going to work on the volume. First of all, you should know what is volume. So let's look at the definition, which is a very short and very precise definition. Volume is the amount of space an object takes up. This is a very simple definition. For example, if you have any three-dimensional prism like this, so you just need to mention how many space this object is taking up and how many space it is acquiring, right? So this is the volume. So how do we measure volume? For that I would like to show you something. Let me show that. For example, when you worked on the area, so how did you find the area of anything? Well, you must be remembering that you multiply the length or height with the length or base, right? 5 times 6, it is 30, which is the area of this face. What exactly we are doing and why we are multiplying the sides of a square or rectangular we have in front of us, right? So for example, if we need to see how much area this shape is covering, so what we did, we just simply count the number of squares we can fit in this space. For example, if you count 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 and 6 12, 12 and 6 18, 18 and 6 24, and 24 and 6, there are 30 squares in this figure. That's why the area of this figure is 36. Similarly, if I add one more line of 5, so that will be area will be 35, because I have added one more lane of 5 squares, right? So just to measure the area of any square, we fixed the unit squares. This square is same as this square, and this square is same as the rest of the squares fit in this space, right? So this technique is used to measure the two-dimensional space like area. But what if we need to measure a three-dimensional space? So what we can do, let me show you. If we have a three-dimensional objects like this, so what we can do, we can simply draw them up like this. So this is a cube in front of me, right? For example, if I add some lines in it, so for example, I want to measure the volume of this. Now it has become three-dimensional, so I can easily find its volume. So I cannot count the number of squares in it, right? So I have to count the number of cubes, because this is three-dimensional measurement, so we have to use a three-dimensional cubes or units, right? So how many cubes are there? 1 2 3. So we can simply say that the volume of this figure is 3 cubes, right? Okay, if I add some more lines like this, so again you can count how many lines are there. Let me unfill this so that you can make more sense of it, or fill it properly so that you can make more sense of it. So you can easily count now 1 2 3 in one lane, 6 9 and 12. Now I have 12 cubes, so that I can say that the volume of this figure in front of me, this object, is 12. And if we have more layers on it like this, if I have 2 layers, so now I have 2 layers of 12, so in a total we have 24 cubes. So that means the volume of this prism should be 24 cubes. Why we are counting it in a cube? Because this is a three-dimensional object and we cannot measure this in squares. To cover this three-dimensional, like a box, if I want to fill a box, I cannot fill it with squares. I have to fill it with small boxes, which we called a cube, which has all equal sides, right? Like squares, which has all. Why do we use squares to measure the area? Because a square has all equal 4 sides, right? So you don't need to tell the person about the dimension of the square, because square itself represent the equal sides. Similarly, for the volume, we use cube, because cube has equal sides or equal faces. It has all equal faces. If you look at this, all faces are equal of this small square cube. So to measure volume, we see how many cubes we can fill in, or how many volume we can fit in that box. So that becomes the volume of that prism and of the box, right? So this is the concept. Now let's back towards the assignment, and we will understand and practice something like this. For example, as they are saying also, the volume has a unit cube has a volume of 1 cube. As I was saying that this one small box is of 1 volume, we count and we just tell the person that what is the volume of this prism by telling the number of cubes we can fit in that object, right? So for example, let's look at this. So what you can say, how many pieces are there? The figures is made up of 6 unit cubes, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So that means the volume of this cube is 6 cubic units. And you also know that we can also write 3 for measuring for mentioning the cubes. You have learned exponents, so you know that 3 means cube. So that means this the volume of this rectangular prism should be 6. Why? Because it has 6 unit cubes in it, which we can fit in it, right? So similarly, this is a very basic concept. Let's open the skill and let's practice. Okay, so what should be the volume of this object? Because they are saying object, so let me just say object. So what is the volume of this object? Simply you will count the number of cubes we can fit in this object. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So that means the volume of this figure should be 8 cubic unit. Why cubic unit? Because we are counting the number of cubes we are fitting in this. So make sure whenever you are writing the answer of volume, you will also mention cube, because you are all telling that how many cubes are there in that volume, right? So this is the right answer. Great. Let me just jump up for some more difficult question like this, for example. So what is the volume? Just quickly count and let me know. 1 2 3 4. 4 in a first row, first top row, 4 8 in a second, 12 with third, and 16 in all, right? So there are 16 cubes in it, so the volume should be 16 cubic units. Okay, great. Just let me have some layer ones like this. Okay, what is the volume? How you can find its volume? Simple concept. You can say that what you can count how many cubes are there. So easy way to count the number of cubes in this, you can simply count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So it has 10 cubes in the first row, right? So in the first row it has 10 cubes, then in the second row 20, in third 30, in fourth 40, and in fifth it has 50 cubes in all. It has 50 cubes in all. So we can simply write 50 cubic units. And you can also do this. You can simply count the number of cubes in this phase. For example, 1 2 3 4 5, 5 and 5 10, 10 and 5 15, 15 and 5 20, and 20 and 5 25. So it has 25 cube in this layer, and it has 2 layers of 25 cubes. So in total it has 50 cubes, right? So the volume of this object should be 50 cubic units. Okay, just let me give the last answer. Okay, can you please give me the answer of this? Right, you can easily give the answer. Write the whether the top row or the right row as it feels comfortable for you. For me it is comfortable to count the top layer first. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it has 6 cubes in the first row. And how many rows are there? 1 2 3 4 and 5. So 6 rows. We have 5 rows each with 6 cubes. So 5 times 6 equals 30. So it should have 30 cubes in it. So the volume of this figure should be 30 cubic units. So this is a very simple concept. I hope you have understood this. Go on IXL and practice this skill. The name of the skill is volume of rectangular prisms made up of unit cubes, and the code of the skill is WGB. But first, before you go on IXL, please mention the answer of this question, the volume of this prism or object, in the comments of this video below. Thank you so much.